Hello, so in this lecture I'm going to be showing you how to add in all of our CSS for our website. So actually we are going to be using sass, which is a CSS processor. So to do this we're in our header component right now because I'm going to be adding the styling for the header. So I just have to go under our template, style, /style. And then we can just go inside of there. And then to add scss, which is the version of sass we're going to be using, I can just do lang equals scss. But you wouldn't have to do this if you're just doing regular CSS. Also, we're going to be using the scoped, so that makes sure that all of our CSS only targets elements inside of this individual component, or page if you're doing that. So I'm just going to do our header. I guess the scope doesn't really matter though, since we're doing sass. I can just add in the elements inside of here. And I'm just going to be using sass for the variables and the nesting, which basically I can have a header here and then an li, and it'll compile this into header, and then I'll have the code inside of here, code, and then I'll have header li, and then it'll add in the code from here. So it's just nicer to use because you structure it like your HTML. So I am going to be using a website called coolers.co, and this just helps you generate color schemes because you just press space and it generates new colors that match together. So we're going to have a background of this glitter, and background, sorry, actually we're going to have it blue, I meant to say blue, this blue, whatever that's called, arrow. So that's a nice color. And then we're going to have that color of it. And we'll make it that white. Okay. So now we're going to have width 100%, height, we'll just do 8M. And then we're going to have display flex and flex direction row, justify content, and then we're just going to have space between. Okay, so that makes them go to the sides. And then we're going to have some padding. So top and bottom, we don't want any. And then on the left and right, we're going to have 5M. Actually, let's make that a little bit bigger. 7M. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay. So actually, I think we probably need more contrast versus our white color for the text. So I'm going to see if there's black. Yeah, that'll probably do better. So also, we're going to center our elements because the space between makes them go as far away as they can. So all of our spaces between our elements, because our main elements is this heading and this UL tag, or unordered list. So we're going to do online items center. So that should center them up. And then we're going to go into our, I think it's an H3, yeah, h3.logo. And we're just going to make this font size like 3M. That may be too big. Okay, that looks good. Font weight, and we'll just do 300. Okay, yeah. I sometimes don't like it to be too bold. Now we're going to have our unordered list. And there's default padding and margins, so I'm just going to remove that. And we're going to have no list styling. And I spelled padding wrong. So the list style is just these bullet points that are before the list items. And then we're just going to have display flex of this and flex direction row. So I just put them next to each other. So now we can just go inside of the LIs and the A tag. and we're going to, for the li, we're going to access the li. So the and is just like this, the this operator in JavaScript, and then we're going to also edit the a tag. Because the nuxt-link, it's actually an a tag once it's generated into the page. So we're just going to use an a to style that. And we're going to have padding, and we'll just do 1em and see how that looks. Okay, that may be too big on the side, so we'll just do 0.5. Okay, yeah, that looks about good. And then inside of here, we're just going to have color inherit. So instead of using the default A color, which is like a purple, it'll just be using the color that is inside of the parent element, which is right here. And then we're just going to have text decoration, none. That'll just make our text look like this. And we can probably increase the font size to a maybe a little bit bigger, or smaller, I mean. Yeah, that looks about good. And we aren't going to add any of the hover elements for it. So now, we're just going to keep in mind that our layout is going to be used on in all of the pages. We're just going to have an h1 and a p tag. So inside of our default, there's default CSS that is already in here. And this is just going to be loaded onto all of our pages that are using this layout. So we are just going to get rid of all of this. And I think that probably, and body. Oh, we actually have to add in make sure we're using sass. We're going to open this up, and then we're going to do width 100%, height 100 vh, margin 0, padding 0. So that what that basically does is it makes the HTML and the button, we have some overlapping. Okay. So our header is actually taking up 100% of the screen, but it actually also has padding on the left and right, which is 7em. So we need to take in the 7em and subtract that. We're going to calc. And then actually we're going to subtract 14em because this is on the left and right. So 7 plus 7 is 14. Hopefully you should know that. So we can see that now we don't have any horizontal scroll bars, which you never want inside of a website. So we're going to go back into our default view, and we're just going to go out of here, and we're going to have our .container, which if you remember, we have that inside of all of our pages. And then we're going to go inside of our main, and we're going to have our container width 100%, height 100. Wait, I think this should be auto actually. Okay. Now inside of our main, we're also going to have width 100%, height, auto. I think auto is actually the default value, but whatever. We can just leave it for right now. And then we're going to have an h1 tag, font size 3em. Okay, yeah, that's good. And we're going to have this display flex. And then flex direction column. And then we're going to justify, or wait, no. I think we're doing justify center. Nope, that's wrong. Align item center. Yes, that's right now. So actually I don't really want this to take up the whole width. So for the main, we're just going to do width 80%. Well, actually we should probably just add that into our container. I'm just going to do 80%. And then margin 0 auto. So automatically put that into the center of the screen. Okay, so that looks a lot better. I think that we can actually also do for a p tag x indent. I think that they added that. Yeah, they did. So I think 3M, that might be good. Yeah, that looks about right. Font size 1.25 maybe. And line dash height 1.5. Now we want to decrease the padding on the top. I think that's actually margin. Yeah, that looks about good. So now we have this on all of our pages. Should probably actually add some content for all of our other pages. So we can go inside of, where is it? Our contact. Then we can just add in, so the first one had 30, so we'll have 40 in this one. Then we'll have 50 in this one. And then we will have 60 in this one. Wait, didn't I just do 50 in the other? I think I have 60 now. Okay, so home, about, contact, and then donate. So now we can tell between them. And so now, this isn't perfect, all of this styling, and we're also not going to make it responsive so it looks bad like that. But this is just like setting up a boilerplate for, you could turn this website into an amazing website with just different styling. It's just that we know how to create our static website now. So in our next lecture, we're going to be learning how to have transitions. So then when we go to the different pages, it looks like it has a different transition besides this just changing the content inside of it. So I'll see you guys in the next lecture.